Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, entitled egg donor demands I pay for her 4 offsprings college. My parents don't like my boyfriend, so they gave me an ultimatum. My mom threw out few pieces of clothes and never told me until I asked. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled egg donor demands I pay for her 4 offsprings college. My mom had at 14, but my grandma raised me. She had brother at 16 and then got pregnant again when I was 15. Grandma kicked her out but kept me and my brother since she was the one that raised us while my mom partied and slept around. I'm 22 now and I'm making $16,000 a month. I haven't heard from her since she left. Absolutely nothing. After 7 years of radio silence, my mom showed up and she's demanding that I start college funds for her 4 kids. Hell no. That's also the condition if my brother and I want to see our siblings. Edit, I want to clarify a few things. 1. I'm not giving that woman anything. I only posting this for entertainment. I know she doesn't care about me or my brother. 2. People asked about the dads and well, mine is a mystery. She doesn't know who my dad is. My brother's father told her he doesn't want anything to do with him. When she got pregnant before she was kicked out again, she had no idea who the father was, and the last 3 have, legally, the same dad. She's married, but he is divorcing her cause she cheated and he doesn't know if the kids are really his or not. 3. A lot of people are surprised I make $16,000 a month and asked what I do. I will not disclose that. I had a paid internships, $5,000, because I had very good grades and after I graduated they doubled my paycheck. A few months later I got a promotion thanks to the results had, and that added another $6,000. Someone asked how did she found out. She found my Instagram and saw that I travel frequently and that I have an expensive car, so she assumed I had money. No is a full sentence. In her case, LOL is a full sentence. Hand her $4. There. College funds started. First thing to say to her is, who the hell are you? I don't know you, so piss off. She has never been there for you or your brother, so neither of you owe her anything, much less any of her kids that she actually did try to raise. They may be your siblings, but you don't really know them and owe them or her anything. You don't even owe her any respect, since she is nothing to you. Tell her off and go on with your life and make sure your brother does the same. New phone, who dis? I'm right in front of you. We're not even on the phone. New life, who dis? I would let her know you won't consider it until she fully reimburses your grandmother for the expenses of raising you and your brother. Of course, after considering it you would still say no, but that's another story, lol. Why would you want to see the random, entitled offspring of a stranger in exchange for cash? I'll send you pictures of my dogs if you pay my mortgage. Sound good? Tell her to talk to her baby daddies because you are not responsible for her irresponsible actions. Make sure you create a will for yourself if you don't want your savings to go to your mom by default if something happens to you. And maybe specify something about it not all going to grandma, no strings attached. Because then if you die, then she dies, then it possibly would all go to your mom, depending what your grandma has for a will. My parents don't like my boyfriend, so they gave me an ultimatum. Looking for experience and opinions? All are welcome. I'll try to make a long story short. I am an only child and my current boyfriend and I have been dating for 6 years, starting when I was 19 and he was 20. We met at junior college where we started dating, and after that we went to different UCs, but within an hour of each other. My parents met him early on by joining us at dinner. Everything seemed to go well. Then soon after, we went to his parents' house, who live about 2 hours from my parents, so I could meet his family, and after learning this my mom told me how hurt she was that we didn't come to see them too. I expressed that this weekend was for me to meet his family, but it was clear that she felt almost betrayed. Fast Forward, my parents invite me up to our cabin and my boyfriend joins. We take my car because it was already loaded with laundry, etc. After we arrive, my dad pulls me aside and pretty much quietly yells at me how wrong it is that I drove and that we took my car. He's the man, he should be driving, blah blah blah. This started everything going forward on a sour note. The cabin is in Tahoe, it gets cold in the winter, so my boyfriend wore a sweatshirt with his hood up during some of the time at the cabin. My parents to this day cite this as weird and rude as well as a reason they don't like him. As we continue our relationship, it's clear that my parents don't like him, but they can't really give up what I would call good or justifiable reasons. They'll say he's just not a good fit for the family. They don't tell me to stop dating him, because they can't, I'm an adult, but they do tell me that I need to keep them and him separate. They don't want to really hear about him and he's not welcome at their house or cabin. He's never cheated on me, abused me, he has no drug problems, etc. Nothing that a normal parent would cite as a problem. Eventually, it became an ultimatum given to me by my parents. They'd tell me that if you continue to date him, eventually it will be either him or us and you'll have to choose. Among other things, they would tell me that he'd never be an attorney, which is what he wanted to do, and insinuating that he probably wouldn't be much of anything at all. After undergrad, I started working at a financial firm. He graduated from undergrad at UC Berkeley and was accepted to law school across the country. We were always very serious about each other and made the decision to do long distance until he graduated and moved back to CA. My boyfriend has since graduated from law school, moved home, and took the bar last month. Now, 6 years into our relationship, I call my parents and tell them that we are going to be moving in together. About 20 minutes later, I get a text from my mom saying that she doesn't want to rain on my parade, but that this path excludes her and my dad from my future. That they love me, but they can't be in my life if I choose to be with my boyfriend. I told them I would never understand. Since then, they have sent me more and more text messages saying stuff like, "We feel like we're losing our daughter, this is heartbreaking," etc., and all at the same time including that this is my choice and my fault. I texted my parents that I thought my boyfriend and I should come over and talk, that texting about this kind of thing is stupid, but not to be patronized or belittled, and if it turned to screaming that we would leave. My parents then replied that they wanted to see me face to face to talk, but that my boyfriend isn't allowed. My boyfriend even called my father the night of the initial "we can't be part of your life" text to try and talk or meet up and see if there was a way to talk through any legitimate concerns. My dad did not answer and responded until a week plus later, only to text him that they haven't really ever liked him, that he wants to work through it with me alone, and it's mine and my boyfriend's fault for not trying to address things earlier. Among other ridiculous reasons to not like my boyfriend were Berkeley isn't a man's college. My dad. One time in college, my professor lost my final exam, and when I found out via my final grades and was frantically calling her to figure out what happened, my parents told my boyfriend, "See, this is why we didn't want her to have a boyfriend in college, they've found ways to blame him for everything." The only thing that ever had any merit was that he wasn't working yet. Well, this was because he was going to school to be a lawyer. Apparently marrying someone who will make a lot of money is a bad thing? My boyfriend is the nicest, most calm and peaceful person ever, and he loves me more than anything. But apparently their pride is more important than being wrong and accepting him. I guess I'm just trying to figure out if this is normal, or if it's as wrong as it feels to my boyfriend and I. Your parents are trying to control you. Stand your ground. They gave you an ultimatum, take it and tell them sorry, they don't want to be in yours and BF's lives. Do not negotiate with terrorists. Thanks for the award. When you tell them this, make sure you tell them this is their choice to not be in your lives. There are few things more satisfying than seeing a would-be tyrant pull the old "my way" or the highway ultimatum and go full surprise Pikachu face when the other person opts for the highway. Wishing OP the best of luck in their future with her BF. 1. This is not normal. 2. The unreasonable ones here are your parents. I've dealt with this kind of BS on your boyfriend's end. My bet? There is nothing that your BF can do to make your parents like him. Because they would have a problem with anyone you dated, because you dating and having a totally normal healthy progression into adulthood relationship means that they get to have less influence in your life. Your parents are doing you a favor here. If they want this to be their hill to die on, let them die there. There's not a male alive who they will accept. They want her under their control. Period. No, it's not normal. Your boyfriend definitely sounds like a keeper. So many youthful relationships fail, but here you are still together. Most people would be overjoyed their daughter found a nice guy with a career as a lawyer. Is your family old money, by any chance? Because your description of their behavior makes them sound like that elitist/classist type who expected you to pick a Harvard graduate from the sons of the families within their social circle. Choose your boyfriend. Let your parents discover what their ultimatum really means. They need to be taught that you are your own person, along with the important life lesson to never make an ultimatum unless you know 100% that you will win. Leave the door open for the future in the hope that they will one day pull their heads out of their asses and reach out. Let them know you are sorry that it has come to this, but they are the ones choosing to walk away, not you, by making it an ultimatum. Good luck to you and your boyfriend for the future. To be honest, sometimes it be the people close to you that cause you the most heartache. I would understand if he was disrespectful to you or them, but he didn't do any of that. Also, are you the only child or the only daughter of your parents? If so, I could relate to you somewhat. I'm the only girl from my mom and she sheltered me most of my life, and any decision on my own she would freak out. Do what makes you happy and live with no regrets. Your boyfriend isn't making you choose, your parents are. Your parents are ridiculous and they are solely responsible for destroying your relationship with them. If they want you to choose, your only good choice is the boyfriend. How are your boyfriend's parents? If they are nice, you might have found your new parents. I can't even imagine treating my kids the way your parents treat you. I didn't like one of the girls my son dated. I didn't say anything to him until after they broke up. If I thought my kids' partners were going to hurt them in some way and put them in danger, I would share my concerns as diplomatically as I could, but they get to choose who they date. My mom threw out few pieces of clothes and never told me until I asked. This is not the first time this is happening. I have told her a couple of times not to touch my stuff without me knowing and always ask before throwing out my stuff. A few days ago, since we shifted to a new house, I've been searching for a few pieces of innerwear which I remember having. Today morning I got my period out of nowhere and I couldn't find any. I was horrified and kept wondering where it all went. Even after sorting out the situation, I kept asking her if she knew, cause she has been cleaning around the house lately. No response. Only after questioning her if she threw them she tells that she did since they were damaged. I feel so embarrassed and dumb that she went through my stuff and decided to throw out few. Okay, Mom. Do you plan on replacing my items you threw away without permission? Do we need to have a conversation about respecting each other's belongings? I'm pretty sure I learned not to touch other people's stuff without permission back in kindergarten. No violence involved, so you can take an eye for an eye. One item of hers for every one of yours. Ugh, my mom used to do this all the time when I lived with her. Usually out of anger about something stupid. I kept some skincare items in the medicine cabinet of the bathroom. I saw her cleaning out the cabinet one day and I said, "You're not throwing away any of my stuff, right?" And she said no. So I said, "Okay, please don't." And what do you know, when I got home later that night and looked in the kitchen garbage, there was a bunch of my skincare stuff. And of course when I called her out on it, her excuses were that they were old, or almost empty, etc. She just hated that I owned anything at all. We have a much better relationship now that I moved out, but she sure is still entitled. Sorry you are dealing with this. Go through her drawer and threw out some shit. Payback always gets their attention. Do you have to live with her? If a roommate did that, you would move out. Why does mom get a pass? My mom did this when I was younger. I recommend locking your door if you're able to. Next time you make her breakfast, spit in her egg. I did this to my dad's wife, biological M***ther, whenever she was acting up and then made us make her breakfast. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.